Now it was time for an interview. Took about a month for her to finally do it. And the lucky recipient, CNN's Dana Bash. By the way, that's another person whose name gets mispronounced, and it's not racist. Big opportunity. Big. Lots to discuss. CNN's ratings are in the toilet. So this is a chance to show everyone you're not actually in the tank for Team Blue. Do your thing. You're a serious journalist who will hit Kamala Harris just as hard as you did J.D. Vance, who you've had on your show many times, and you continuously, routinely go round and round with him. You're tough. Let's go, Dana. So she gets Kamala Harris there next to her emotional support governor, Tim Walz. And Dana Bash does the thing. She asks about the all-important fracking reversal. This is going to be the first time we're going to hear her explain it on camera and directly as opposed through the rando. This is exciting.
When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
Wait, what? No. In 2020, she participated in a vice presidential debate against Mike Pence and said Joe Biden, who was at the top of her ticket, would not ban fracking. Surely you know that, Dana Bash. Surely you've done your homework, since this is a very big interview, her first as the nominee, and you studied her earlier statements on fracking, a subject you have chosen to raise. And you know that other paper statement through the rando spokesperson is all we've gotten, that she's never disavowed anything directly, and this is our chance to find out all about it. Let's check in and see whether she was cross-examined, held to account, and how things actually went between them from there.
How much we really care. I hear your voice inside me. I see your face everywhere. Still you say we belong to Thunder.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly how it looked. The genders were a little off, but that's exactly what we saw. A full-on love fest between the two of them. Okay, but look, these attempted disavowals of her earlier positions on paper or by theatrical performances were not enough to win a presidential race. She was going to need some affirmative policies. She tried one. She would stop price gouging at the grocery stores. This was the way to fight inflation. Yes, Sheriff Kamala would now police the Piggly Wiggly and make sure their prices were to her liking. That sounded exciting, sounded promising, until the Washington Post, the paper of record for the left, called it communist. Not great. But there was more. A sexy new proposal designed to lure in those Las Vegas, Nevada service workers.
And eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
So good, but also kind of familiar. 4 months earlier.
Hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy. Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay, so after Dana Bash, she sits down with Stephanie Ruhle of MSNBC. Many people wondered, why Stephanie Ruhle? This is not like the go-to choice for most people looking to ascend to prominence. And then it quickly became clear as this soundbite emerged from the week prior.
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
She's not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
I problem that a lot of people have with Kamala is we don't know her answer to anything, okay?
But you know his answer to everything.
And I don't think it's a lot to ask her to sit down for a real interview as opposed to a puff piece in which she describes, like, her feelings of growing up in Oakland with nice lawns.
Then I would just say to that, when you move to Nirvana, give me your real estate broker's number and I'll be your next door neighbor. We don't live there.
Oh, makes sense. Rule used her time with Kamala Harris wisely. A few pressing questions on Harris's economic plans, and then...
Have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay.
Your media, America. Everything Kamala said seemed tightly scripted or painfully stilted. When reporters shouted questions to her that would have required an off-the-cuff response, she sounded like a Stepford wife, programmed and empty.
How are you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard.
Oh my God. Why couldn't she just answer questions or ad-lib a thought? Interact with voters. Oh, wait, we know why. We had 4 years with Kamala Harris.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
I have a particular fondness, I must tell you, for electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I was proud to introduce the first piece of legislation to electrify our nation's fleet of school buses. I'm excited about electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I just love them. Venn diagrams, those 3 circles, right? And then let's just see where they overlap. You will not be surprised because I have constructed a Venn diagram on this. Remember those 3 circles, how they overlap? I love Venn diagrams. So I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Oh,
you know?
God.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
Oh, my God, it's like so relieved she's not going to be in that office for 4 years. Okay, anyway, so here you've got to hand it to Kamala. When she became the nominee, the woman was obviously given, or dare I say, came up with her own lines. And man, did she get her new beloved lines down pat.
I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition. We have aspirations. We have dreams.
I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. So my plan is to build what I call an opportunity economy, which means giving people an opportunity to actually achieve those ambitions, those goals, and those dreams.
And it's a future where we build what I call an opportunity economy, where America has an opportunity to do for our people what we know is part of our ambition, our dreams, our aspirations. I will always put the middle class and working families first. I come from the middle class. I come from the middle class.
Do?
I know what I'm talking about.
You don't say.
The nature of democracy there are 2 sides to it in terms of the nature of it. There's a duality. There's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, oh, it's so strong. And it is very fragile.
Okay. The problem is pre-rehearsed lines may help you through a debate, and they did. So did the ABC moderators. But sometimes they're not enough. Every once in a while, you're going to have to be subjected to a question that you have not anticipated with rote lines ready to be unleashed. And these moments for Kamala Harris were unmitigated disasters, like what happened on The View.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Despite all their planning, their message control, their attempts over and over to hide her weaknesses like her stupidity and inability to think in the moment, the act was ultimately doomed to fail. It's like the scene in Ice Castles where the champion ice skater Lexi goes blind and she doesn't want anyone to know. So Robbie Benson, who plays her boyfriend and coach, childhood crush, trains her to skate despite her blindness, and they come up with tricks so no one will be able to tell, and she does it. She nails the routine. No one knows her secret, and then...
We forgot about the flowers.
Forgot about the flowers. That was Kamala and her team when Sonny Hostin tried to throw flowers at her on The View. And instead they wound up tripping her just like Lexi. Stephen Colbert, too, threw his bouquet of roses at her. And here you can actually see Kamala Harris glitch.
Polling shows that a lot of people, especially independent voters, really want this to be a change election, and that they tend to break for you in terms of thinking about change. You are a member of the President's administration. Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of... But also, I think it's important to say with 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly,
Here it comes.
I love the American people, and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious
What would
people.
change?
We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic, and I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity and in that way grow the strength of our nation.
Oh my God, they tried to defraud us into thinking this woman could be president. Look at that soundbite. The question was, what will change and what will stay the same? They forgot to prep her for this most basic question. And so she did something catastrophic. On The View, she answered it honestly. I have no new ideas. I have no plan. Welcome to the new boss. Same as the old boss. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.